design the ETL pipelines using a range of services like Data Factory, Databricks, Data Lake, and SQL databases. I've got good knowledge and hands-on experience working with Python and PySpark programming languages, and also SQL queries, stored procedures, views, and things like that. These are like my key skills that I've been using in my pipelines and data pipelines development experience. Overall, I am seeking a role which is likely very similar, or that allows me to explore other opportunities, other technologies as well. And the reason I'm looking outwards is because this is a contract position which is going to end pretty soon.
Okay, gotcha. So I know you mentioned Databricks, Python, SQL. Are you familiar with tools like Snowflakes, dbt, Airflow, or Tableau by any chance?
Yes, I am. So in the AWS project in the past, I managed Apache Airflow, S3 buckets, and Amazon Redshift, and AWS Glue. And I have also briefly used Snowflake as a data warehouse on the cloud for one of my past projects. So yeah, I have experience on those two as well.
Okay. And you said you have some experience with Tableau as well, correct?
No, I don't have much experience with Tableau. So I'm not much experienced with the reporting and analytics side of the house. I'm mostly in the backend ETL development.
Got you. Okay. So just a brief understanding. Can you kind of like walk me through your work history? Where you worked at, and as well as the times you worked there, or what you did at some of those companies. That would be great.
Sorry, I didn't get the question right. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, absolutely. I was saying, can you walk me through your work history, the companies you worked at, some of the things that, a brief overview of what you did at those companies, and, what was the main reason why you actually left?
Sure. So basically, all my previous ones were contract positions. So
Okay.
the reason for leaving was the end of contract most of the times, and the positions that I've worked on. If I go starting from the earliest, so I started with Epsilon. At Epsilon, I was working as a database developer first.
Okay.
Mostly responsible for building out the pipelines using SSIS and SQL Server-based technologies.
Okay.
Mostly quite heavy on the SQL querying side. Later on, I got a chance to do a migration project over there, migrating the data from on-prem SQL Server to Azure SQL Cloud. So that is from where basically my cloud journey started, and I did some certifications and fundamental training to educate myself on the platforms, and I also worked on those projects side by side. So that gave me a very good understanding from there. And then after that, I got a chance to work with Blue Cross Blue Shield, BCBS,
Okay.
which is into the domain. So at BCBS, I got a chance to build a data warehouse platform where there were different data sources, and the data pipelines were supposed to gather data from disparate sources and put it into a data lake, a centralized location, and then write a bunch of transformations and modeling rules to model the data into the Redshift. So that is where I further got exposure on Azure as well as AWS platform. I also got to learn about the CI/CD and the code management and version control practices over there. So that was quite learning experience in terms of technology as well as business. And then eventually I moved to my current employer, who's the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
Okay.
This is again into the healthcare domain. This is a non-profit leading client that deals in patients and donations and donors data for the campaigns organized across the US. So the kind of data I'm handling over here is related to the patients, donors, caregivers, and healthcare workers, and so on, which comes from different sources. So it has got structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, and a variety of different services in the Azure stack that is used to design the end-to-end system.
Gotcha.
So yeah, these are overall experiences that I got in my previous roles, my work history.
Gotcha. And how do you ensure compliance with healthcare data standards and regulations? For example, we're talking about like HIPAA, CLIA, CAP, in your data, maybe current or in the past data engineering projects that you've handled.
Yeah. So based on the learnings I've got from the past data projects, I've done some POCs also on the other technologies that I did not really get to work in a full-fledged project, but Snowflake and Salesforce, these are some of the things that I got a chance to look into during these positions, and a lot of supporting services in the AWS and Azure. That's what I built my overall understanding pretty good in terms of the end-to-end data pipelines design and implementation.
Gotcha. And I noticed your experience. You've worked at what is this company? You worked at Blue Cross. You were there for about 2 years, and your most recent employer, which is I believe that's Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. That's how you pronounce it?
Yes.
So
yeah, that's right.
Did you have a chance to mentor or coach any junior data engineers or any junior members of the team?
I have, been responsible for the code reviews and the allocation of work to the junior team members and the team, but they were not formally reporting to me.
Okay.
I was functionally responsible for making sure that work is allocated and the code reviews, the solutioning, and the technical approaches they are taking. So yeah, I was responsible for a lot of those things informally, but yeah, I've never got reportees under me.
Gotcha. And how do you stay up to date or updated with emerging trends, new tech tools that comes out, technologies in the data engineering or telemedicine, and as well as lab informatics? Like, how do you keep yourself up to standard with all these new tech tools that are coming out?
Okay, so I mostly read a lot of blog articles or do a lot of R&D related to the issues I work on. And whenever I get a chance, for example, nowadays I've got to learn on Microsoft Fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking courses or watching videos related to it, or reading a lot of blog articles on Medium that interests me about the various features and capabilities offered in the tool. And then whenever I get a chance, I do a short POC for exploring a particular feature or a use case. That helps me stay updated. So a combination of these things, reading and exploring and doing things, helps me helps me keep up to date.
Gotcha. And how have you, like, over the past couple of years that you've worked, how have you used DBT for data transforming, modeling, and documentation? And can you describe a project where, the DBT that you used, how it played a crucial side in ensuring that your data is more accurate and consistent?
Sorry, I didn't get that right. Can you please repeat that?
Yes, absolutely. So, over the past couple of years when you've worked, how have you used DBT for data transformation, modeling, and documentation? And if so, like, describe a project that you use DBT and how it played a crucial role in ensuring that your data is accurate and consistent.
Okay, so I've not used your data build tools that much. I have done transformations and modeling using Databricks, but not DBT in particular. So I can try to answer that, but not it may not be appropriate as per DBT. Right. So in context of Databricks, I've used the different features that Databricks offers, like merge a schema to handle the incremental updates and the Unity catalog and autoloader to do the transformation for the incremental data that's coming from different sources. And also, I've used a bunch of PySpark functions to create the user-defined functions and joins between different data frames to basically implement the data transformations and build out the SCD type to data modeling. If that answers your question.
Gotcha. Excuse me. And can you describe a complex data engineering problem that you've encountered in the healthcare space, and what was the steps that you used to resolve that situation?
Okay, so yeah, in regards to the healthcare space, I can take a scenario from my current project, which is Crohn's and colitis. So over here, the client had, like I mentioned, the client organizes, a bunch of campaigns and different marketing campaigns through which they gather a lot of volunteers and fundraisers data. So the problem statement in this case was because they have different systems through which they get the data feed. Okay. They had a problem of user opt-in and opt-out. So, for example, a user is not interested in getting the emails or is not interested in getting contacted. So, let's say a user is opting out of the email notifications from one platform, but the other system is not aware of that change, due to which we are constantly sending the marketing emails to the user, okay. Which of course is not a good experience. So the problem was that the opt-in, opt-out and the email analytics was not centralized, and it was pretty segmented, which was leading to bad insights or incomplete insights, and also bad user experience. So this was the problem statement, and what we did over there was a bunch of things. First of all, we enabled like real-time or push notifications to understand whenever a user has opted out or opted in for a particular feature or a particular service, then it would be kind of a streaming update to the warehouse, and it would update in the near real time, so that the other systems are paired, which are feeding the data in the warehouse, should also be updated with that particular setting. and it should not be like the other systems are out of sync, due to which the campaigns are constantly being sent out and the user is getting that flood of emails all the time. So that was one asynchronous process we implemented to get the changes realized across the systems and have a single source of truth that refers to such settings, and it should not be segmented across different sources. And the other thing we did along with this was to build out a report that would constantly look for the changes of opt-in versus opt-out users,
Okay.
and would also understand why a user has changed from opt-in to opt-out or opt-out to opt-in, so that we can work on the specific action items, and we can reach out to the user. Somebody can engage with them to understand. So a lot of times we used to get scenarios like, let's say somebody is donating out to someone, like there is a household account, and let's say the father has donated on behalf of the entire household, and then the son or the wife is also getting the marketing email from our side. So because they are not the right people who should be donating, but the father, who's the head of the family, is actually doing the donations. That was actually causing the loophole. So that helped us map the households together and actually map those things, that who's the primary contributor, who are the house accounts and contacts into it. So that really helped us identify the data quality issues as well as the business gaps that were there in the data. So yeah, these were the kind of problems we solved, which really benefited the client. And over a period of time, there was subsequent there was stability in terms of the problems reported in these areas.
Got you. Thank you very much. And what cloud-based data platforms and services have you worked with? I know earlier you mentioned AWS. Apart from that, what other platforms or that you've used? And can you provide an example of how you use that platform, either one of them, to basically leverage them to optimize your data workflow?
Yep, I have majorly worked with Azure and AWS platforms, predominantly Azure. But yeah, in the previous projects, I've used quite a bit of AWS as well. So yeah, the key services in Azure, like Data Factory and Databricks, Azure Data Lake Storage, and Azure SQL, and alongside like Azure Active Directory and things like that. These are what I've mostly used.
Okay, awesome. And you mentioned earlier about ETL. Like, walk me through a most recent project where you led the design and implementation of data pipelines and ETL. What tools did you mainly use when you were going through this project? Hello? Hello, Wale, can you hear me?
Hello, man.
Hello? I don't know if he got disconnected or what. I cannot hear him.